Check out this tiny little coin. It's an adorable little thing. Do you recognize this symbol? If you don't, I'm going to put an image up on the screen to help. Look at the symbol on this ambulance. It's the same we have on our coin. That's interesting. Not only we have a case of ancient iconography used on our days, but also this means we have a pretty interesting coin then, as it features some sort of symbol of medicine, right? Or does it? Now, if I show you this other ambulance, we have a different ancient symbol. Wait, now something is wrong here. Both are ambulances, but there are different icons in each one of them. Let's compare these symbols. Let's put them side by side. They look similar. One is some kind of rod with two serpents entwined around it and a pair of wings, while the other is much simpler, a rod with a single serpent coiled around it. This is one of the most common mistakes in the use of ancient iconography in modern times. Which one is the actual symbol of medicine? Let us use some ancient coins to learn the difference. Heading back to our first coin, this is a small Roman copper coin, likely a quadrans, maybe an oval, we aren't really sure. This was struck under Emperor Trajan in the city of Antioch, the third largest city of the Roman Empire, and it's dated between 98 and 117 AD. This staff is called a caduceus, and it's actually the symbol of commerce. The caduceus is normally associated with Hermes, the Greek god of communication, traveling, and trade, called Mercury by the Romans. Looking at this statue, it features the god holding the caduceus. There are quite a few stories about the origins of the caduceus. One tells that Apollo gave it to Hermes as a show of friendship. On another tale, while Hermes was on his way to deliver a message, he came across two snakes fighting. He then threw his traveling stick at the snakes and ended the fight. The snakes, grateful for his act, entwined themselves on his staff, joining the god on his journeys. The two little wings on the caduceus are also a reference to Hermes. He's commonly depicted wearing a cap with two little wings. Sometimes he's also shown with wings on his feet to reinforce this idea of swiftness, agility that he represented. Not all depictions of the caduceus have wings, however. Some of them, like this one, show only the staff with two snakes. The only way to be 100% sure you're looking at a caduceus is if the staff has two serpents around it. But how about the real symbol of medicine? That would be the rod of Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine. Different to Hermes, depicted as a young, athletic man, Asclepius is shown as this strong, middle-aged, bearded man, often naked from the waist up. He holds a staff with a single snake on it. Snakes shed their skin, which can be considered like a metaphor of rejuvenation and healing. Many also produce venom, which was used to kill, but also to produce antidotes. In ancient times, serpents didn't have the negative connotation they have today. They were considered mysterious creatures that held secrets still unknown to man. Romans in particular had snakes as pets. They were quite fond of them. They were so liked, in fact, that the sanctuaries dedicated to Asclepius, the Asclepions, which served as something akin to spiritual predecessors of hospitals, often kept non-venomous snakes in the areas where the sick were recovering. They believed snakes helped on their recovery. Here's a coin that features Asclepius. This is a Roman denarius from the early 3rd century AD, struck under Emperor Caracalla. As we can see on the reverse of this piece, we have Asclepius, called Aesculapius by the Romans, standing up, looking to the left, and holding his staff next to him. At first glance, it's not that simple to distinguish a caduceus from a rod of Asclepius, but here we see only one serpent and, of course, no pair of little wings. Coins featuring Asclepius and his rod are much less common than those featuring the caduceus. And it makes sense. The caduceus is much more easily related to commerce, to money, and to coinage. We find many examples where the caduceus is shown by itself, combined with other mythological symbols, such as the cornucopia, or being held by other deities. It was very easily recognizable, It was a recognized symbol of trade and the prosperity it brought to everyone. The rod of Asclepius, however, doesn't have a direct relation with money and was often found on the coinage of cities where he was worshipped, such as Pergamon, where they had one of the biggest and most famous Asclepions of the ancient world. And as a result, tons of Pergamene coins feature snakes and Asclepius. Asclepius can also be associated with the idea of someone recovering their health. This denarius of Caracalla we saw previously could have been issued as a celebration for the emperor recovering after a period of illness. Asclepius had 5 daughters, called the Asclepiades. Each goddess represented one of the aspects of the healing process. The most famous, Hygeia, is where we get our word for hygiene. The Romans represented Hygeia as 2 goddesses, Valetudo and Salus. Salus is also very commonly shown on Roman coins. This denarius of Gordian III features the goddess on the reverse, and it's quite easy to see the connection between this goddess and her father. She's holding one of Asclepius' snakes on her arms. The legends, Salus Augusti, to the well-being of our emperors, asks the goddess to help keep the emperor healthy and strong. So now you know the difference. The rod of Asclepius is the real symbol of medicine. Next time you see the caduceus being shown incorrectly, like in this very over-the-top sculpture in front of a hospital in the US, you know that, well, it's wrong. Do you know other examples of an ancient symbol being used incorrectly in modern times? Let us know in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this little episode. Leave a like and consider subscribing if you did. Happy collecting, and I'll see you soon.